Hi, this is Drew from drewdenby.com. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be covering off a little bit about overwhelm and the impact that overwhelm can sometimes have on your ability to work with the teams that you have around you, and even sometimes just those teams working with each other. As I say, thanks for joining. I'm hoping that this is really just going to be a short little video which you're going to find useful. It is designed really for people who are their own boss. They own the business that they're working in. They've had obviously a degree of success. The people that I generally speaking work with are those with revenue somewhere between $500,000 and $2 million. And our goal really is to help them get the profits that they've been looking for, and reduce the overwhelm, reduce all the other background clutter that's going on and fogging up their brain. Okay. So, today then, it's a very short story. I just wanted to tell you about a young couple who I'd known for a little while, and they were looking to start a business. Yeah, one of those. But you know what? I thought to myself, okay, well, what sort of business is it? What do they want to do? What led them to where they are? And what on earth how can I help them at this very early stage in their journey? Like I say, normally I'm dealing with people that have already had a degree of success. I'm not really best suited to help with people that are looking at startups. I mean, obviously I can, but you know, I find that my main value comes in the other group. So I got in touch and I said, hey, I saw, you reached out and said that you're doing this, you got this thing with a business and you wanted some advice. So I explained to them, it's, not generally the way that I work and the sort of groups that I work with, but, let's book a phone call and have a talk and see what comes out. And if we can give you any value, even if it's only just to give you a little bit of guidance on the road, then well, what about, time, is pretty available. So let's see what we can do. So we booked a phone call, and the phone call was scheduled to take about 45 minutes, which is, some of you know, is typical for what we do for our first, initial consultation. We want to find out if we can help you before we tell you we can help you, because otherwise, we're wasting everybody's time. So, well, that 45-minute phone call actually went on. Well, it went on for about an hour and a half, and in fact, it was in two parts. And the main reason for that was because this was a couple, and one wasn't available at the beginning and joined halfway through, so we kind of had to go back over a lot. But what became apparent just within that first 40-minute of the combined discussion was, the differences in their characters. One of them was very, very specific and ordered and needed the T's crossed and the I's dotted. And the other one was just, just on the run. They had so many things that they wanted to ask, so many things that they needed to do, so many ideas that they wanted to talk about. So I made the decision then that it would probably be a better idea if we had two separate phone calls, one with each of the partners, to find out exactly what that one particular person, their dreams and goals, and what it was that they were trying to achieve, to see, whether they were actually going to be able to work together, because at this stage it wasn't clear that they would. So that's what we did. Now, just to give you an idea of the premise, one guy was pretty computer literate, not salesy, but he could do a website, he could do a landing page, he could do a sales landing page, if you like. The other one was much more the alchemist. It was a cupcake idea that they had, that they wanted to start their own cupcake store. How hard could it be? They'd obviously seen all these baking shows on TV and thought, well, I can do that, so let's do that. So anyway, we get together on a one-to-one basis, and it soon becomes clear that the person, the alchemist, the cupcake person, is just like going at 1,000 miles an hour. She was firing off new ideas about recipes and flavorings and designs, and just in the half an hour that we were there, she must have told me about 30 or 40 different flavour combinations and profiles that she knew nobody else had got, and she was desperate to get these things out before anybody else did. Because, you know, she felt that her ideas would completely change cupcake world. I mean, what I'm not going to say wouldn't, because, hey, you know, you hear about all these trends and fads, you know, a combination of a cupcake and a donut or whatever it is, I don't know. But what was clear was that it wasn't the actual producing of the cupcakes per se that was her turn on. It was the recognition of coming up with this brilliant, unique and I suppose different flavouring, and then people telling her how fantastic it was. That was the rush for her. And to get to that, there was so much work involved, you know, prior to that, you know, that the likelihood that she was actually going to get to being that successful was pretty slim. You know, no experience in a commercial kitchen, no experience of health and safety issues or food safety issues or anything of that nature. So there was a heck of a learning curve at the front end. And you know, for the guy, you know, he was struggling trying to keep up with all the things that she wanted to do and the changes. You know, every time he'd design something for one new flavour cupcake, she'd already got 10 more waiting for him. So he was constantly playing catch up, and it was quite clear that their idea of opening a cupcake business was probably not best suited to their skill set, you know. I mean, obviously they were very driven, both of them were very driven, but the outcome that they wanted, it was if they only thought the one outcome, or rather the one avenue to get them to that outcome, was to start their own cupcake store. So, the long and the short of it is, we discussed it all, went through a lot of different things, and we came up with two things for them to consider. One was a recipe book, you know, which, you know, the recipes once published would still be hers. No one, you know, anybody that used them would be using her recipe, so she would still be getting the recognition from it. The second was actually to license the recipes as a package to existing cupcake entrepreneurs, because there are quite a lot of cupcake businesses around, and it would appear that the thing that a lot of them struggle with is coming up with new ideas. You know, once a month, you know, what's the cupcake of the month, what's the cupcake of the season, you know, they would just, you know, you don't realise, I guess, how difficult it is to be unique and original all the time. Well, not for this girl. You know, she had a book like this already with flavour profiles that she wanted to try and to test and all the rest of it. So that's in fact the route that they decided to go in. He was going to put together a marketing package, if you like, so that they could then sell the recipe with rights to produce that particular cupcake in that particular town for a particular season, and they could then take that recipe and that license and, you know, sell it to a different cupcake company in a different town, different side of the country. It's all done online, and she would be asked to come and do guest appearances. So she got the, you know, launch of the new flavour in this particular store. It's a great idea, and yeah, that's what they ended up doing. Now, what I was able to do was to break down, if you like, piece by piece, what it was the strength of one person was, what the strength of the other person was, what was the outcome that they wanted, and only by dissecting it to get a very specific outcome for each of them, we were able to find a way that it suited them as a business. And, you know, it's a model now which they are comfortable with. They can spend a little bit more time on each of the recipes and the packages and everything else. So, you know, they've even taken to do specific projects for individual stores. So, you know, stores approach them and say, hey, you know, we're thinking about Christmas next year, and we want something unique, you know, could you come up with something that's exclusive for us? And they get a royalty on everything that's sold, so they get the best of both worlds, which is a pretty good win-win. So now, if you think that your business has reached that point where there's so much other stuff going on, you're not able to focus on what you want to achieve, and when I ask what it is that you want to achieve, I'm talking about over a very specific time frame. Most of my clients work with you over an 8-week time frame with a very clear, specific goal, with an outcome, and we measure ourselves against those results, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, we need to start that process off knowing exactly what it is that you really need to get, because if I don't know what you want, how will I know how to get you there, yeah? If that's something that you think you'd like to find out a little bit more, go to the link below. That will take you to my webpage, which in turn will go through what our process is. And hopefully, if it's something that we think we're going to be a good fit for, and we're going to be able to help you, then that's what we're going to do. So my name's Drew. Thank you again for joining me. And yeah, go find a cupcake.